This is Walk Talk Football, the show where we talk about everything that's on your mind. And today we have a special MLS edition of Walk Talk Football brought to you by Heineken. And we're here at the new Banc of California Stadium where LAFC will have their home opener on Sunday. And this place is the new gem of MLS stadiums. There's 22,000 seats and not one bad one in the house. The closest seat from the field is only 12 feet. It's got the steepest seating bowl in the league. There's a safe standing supporter section, a fan-designed Heineken supporter bar, and there's a roof that reflects heat. And guess what? It's right on a public transit line, which is foreign to people from Los Angeles, but it's new here and it's amazing. But anyways, guys, we'll give you a better look as we stroll around, so let's walk. All right, first question. Atlanta takes all 3 points at the Galaxy, and our man of the match performance from our captain, Parkhurst. Will he be able to lead the team to the playoffs and possible MLS Cup? Well, it's way too early to say whether or not he can lead them to the MLS Cup, but playoffs for sure. Atlanta's showing again this year that they're one of the best teams in the league, taking points against the Galaxy, who are there's a lot of tension around them because of the whole Zlatan thing right now. But I've known Parker since we were 15 years old, actually. We grew up playing in the youth national teams together at IMG Academy, and he's always been an unassuming leader. The thing is, next to Parkhurst, you always need a guy like Pinez or Pidez, I believe his name is Pidez. That's a hard-hitting, kind of that emotional leader that's louder. Parkhurst is never going to be that vocal leader, but he did have an incredible game against the Galaxy, and that's great to see. But in terms of them making it to the MLS Cup, it's impossible to predict. I won't even do that because there's so much. Last year I thought they would have had a chance of getting the MLS Cup, and they were humbled by the Crew, or an experienced playoff team. So this year I think they'll take those learning experiences. They'll continue to be towards the top of the table all season long and definitely make the playoffs. Heath, you played in LA during your career. What difference will the downtown stadium make for football in LA? It's gonna make all the difference. I mean, you're on train lines here, it's easy access, it's pretty much the dead center of the city, and it's got the cultural identity written into this entire place. Back when I played in Los Angeles for Chivas USA, we were renting a home, you felt like you weren't welcome there, there was nothing special about it, it just wasn't unique, and here in the stadium, you can feel that this is very much a home field advantage. This team is going to have an incredible atmosphere in their opening game, and all season long they got a safe standing section. It's just built the right way, and that's something that I think you take the learnings and you do it right. And I think for me, having played here in LA, I never really felt like I had the support of the city. We had a solid fan base, but you can really feel that Los Angeles and parts of the city are really rallying behind this and are excited to see this game happen this weekend. It's gonna be crazy. All right, next question. Have you been surprised by LAFC's good start to the season? It's not easy for new teams to win games, especially since they haven't even had a home field advantage yet. I mean, you can see what a home field advantage is. We're in the section now, 3252, 3,252 seats or standing section available, and that's what home field advantage is. That's the benefit of having a home game. They've been able to get points now playing all their games on the road, but now they're gonna be able to step in here this weekend, get a home game, fill this place out, and really test the quality of supporters, the quality of the players on the field in their own home, which is an incredible experience that will only happen for the first time once here, and I can't wait. I'm gonna be here, it's gonna be sick. I mean, I'm kind of flustered by it because I played in LA and never got a chance to be around something like this. But again, the team's been good because they're scoring a lot of goals. They're giving up a lot of goals, more than 2 goals a game, but they're also scoring a lot of goals. And I think that's something to be excited about. That's entertaining football. It's an entertaining style of play. And if there's one thing I think Bob Bradley's capable of, that's sealing up that back line, because they do have the quality of Zimmerman, Jakovic, Simon, as well as good outside backs in Harvey, Beta Shore, Gaber is back is back training again, or back healthy again. So I think they definitely have the quality to continue doing that and seal up that back line. Next question. Let's see here. What do you think is the ideal system for LA Galaxy to use with the addition of Zlatan? I mean, look, I think Zlatan needs help up top. So I'm saying play Kamara up top next to Zlatan, play a little bit of a diamond in the midfield and let Gio Dos Santos sort of roam around freely where he wants to go. But having Kamara playing next to Zlatan will free up Zlatan to sort of roam, also take some pressure off him because he's going to be double teamed everywhere, and allow Kamara to actually do some damage if he's given the space and time and everybody's focusing on Zlatan. So I think that's the best way to line up, but I think the final solution will present itself through time. You need reps. You need to see how Zlatan plays. All right. You might be wondering what we're doing in here. This is the VIP area. They're still putting on the final touches, artwork and stuff like that. But this is actually the tunnel which the players will walk out on game day. We got a double glass doors behind us, which you'll see when we get past it. You have the director's lounge here, which is like all of the ownership group, Magic Johnson, Mia Hamm, all of them, Peter Guber, Tom Penn, all of them will be out in here, hanging with clients, with friends, family, all that type of stuff. And then you have other people in here getting drinks before the game, and the players will walk straight out through those double doors, which is kind of a crazy experience, but really, really cool to see. The players will be interacting with the fans and the supporters right here, and it's a pretty cool walk out to the pitch. Let's move on to the question. What do you think about Balotelli and Fernando Torres to MLS rumors? Where would they fit best? Honestly, I think Balotelli is a good fit for DC. They're getting a new stadium. They need to breathe in some life. They had a rough year last year. They need to score more goals. And he's a guy that needs to be in a decent sized city, I think, to be happy. And I think DC is a good city for him, close to New York if he wanted to have a day off and go into New York City. So I think that makes sense on a sporting and a personal level. In terms of Fernando Torres, it's just about whether he can contribute. He seems like he's a little bit on the older side now in terms of physicality. He seems a little bit slower. But again, he's being linked to Montreal. I think Montreal could definitely use them. I think Montreal's got other issues like discipline issues right now. They've given up 12 goals, or 7 of their 12 goals have come playing down a man. So I think for them, it's more of a focus to the back line than it is to scoring goals. But they've got Nacho Piatti, who's in top form right now, and adding a guy like Fernando Torres can only make them better. What do you think about the rumors around Patrick Vieira managing Arsenal? Would it be a huge loss for NYCFC? Well, they're top of the league, and that's largely because of him. Will it be a huge loss? Absolutely, but I think he's been able to now establish a culture and an identity within the club. How they play, the style of play. Obviously, this would suck for City Football Group because his connection would be to Manchester City, not Arsenal, but he goes to Arsenal. But I think it would be a good opportunity for him. He's proven that he's a manager that's willing to come to a league like MLS, which isn't always the easiest to adjust to because of the way salary structures work, the way you build a roster, things like that. It's difficult, and he's done well with that. They're now consistently one of the better teams in the league. Obviously, he hasn't brought them an MLS Cup, so if he does leave, I think he leaves on great terms. I think he leaves the club in a much better place than when he arrived. You know, it'll be interesting to see how he does. I don't think he goes unless Arsenal give him a long-term contract, 4 or 5 years, and that trust and that faith that at least they're going to pay him if they're going to fire him shortly after. But Arsenal's been a club, obviously, they stuck with Arsene Wenger for this long. If Patrick Vieira is the next guy in line, I don't think it's going to turn into a carousel of managers, so I think it could be a good option for him. All right, and finally from Triflin09, Seattle and Toronto are both the bottom of their respective leagues. I think you mean conferences, they're in the same league. Who's more likely to turn it around and make it into the playoffs? Let's start with Seattle. Seattle has made the playoffs every single year, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I'm almost positive they have. They're coming off of a win against Minnesota, a huge win for them. And they've played 1, 2, even 3 games less than other teams in the league, so I think I'm not worried about them. Sometimes it's a slow start. We saw them actually the year they made their first MLS Cup run when they were MLS Cup champions. They went on a run the second half of the season, let go of Ziggy Schmidt, and then went on this run. So they have all the quality in the world to be able to get that done. And then on the flip side, you have a team like Toronto, which people are saying is the best team in the history of Major League Soccer on paper and on the field. You know, they're putting all their eggs in the Champions League basket, which I understand. They have the second leg coming up. They play with an entirely different starting 11 in the league than they did in the first leg of the final. So look, you're literally talking about probably the best team ever to play in Major League Soccer. So you win 1 game, you win 2 games, you win 3 games in a row, and that literally would probably put them into first or second place in the league. So both of those teams are going to make the playoffs. They're both really, really good clubs with quality players, so I'm not worried about that. So guys, that's all we have for this episode. So make sure you get down in the comments and let me know what you think on all things Major League Soccer. And I'm going to post up here, get out my bottle opener and crack one and take in the vibes before this place is packed with people and I can't hear myself think. So see you guys later.